So, let me tell you about the time tomato monsters took over my house. Yeah, you heard me right. Tomato monsters. It all started one sunny afternoon when I was in my kitchen, minding my own business, chopping up some fresh tomatoes for a salad. I had just finished slicing the last tomato when I heard a strange noise coming from the bowl. I leaned in closer to investigate, and that's when I saw it. The tomato was moving. Not just a little wiggle, but a full-on squirm. I couldn't believe my eyes. Before I could react, the tomato burst open, revealing a tiny red creature inside. It had eyes, a mouth, and little arms and legs. It was a tomato monster. I stared in shock as more and more tomato monsters emerged from the bowl. They were crawling all over the kitchen, knocking over pots and pans and causing chaos wherever they went. I didn't know whether to laugh or scream. It was like something out of a ridiculous B-movie. I tried to catch them, but they were surprisingly fast for little tomato creatures. They were climbing up the walls, swinging from the light fixtures, and even riding around on the backs of my cats. It was absolute madness. As I tried to contain the tomato monsters, I couldn't help but chuckle at the absurdity of the situation. Here I was, in my own home, being overrun by tiny, mischievous tomato creatures. It was like a comedy sketch gone wrong. I finally managed to corral the tomato monsters into a corner of the kitchen, but they weren't done causing trouble. They started throwing cherry tomatoes at me, giggling like little children. I couldn't help but laugh at their antics, even as I dodged the flying fruit. After a while, the tomato monsters seemed to tire themselves out. They settled down on the floor, panting and grinning up at me with their little tomato faces. I couldn't stay mad at them. They were just too darn cute. I decided to make the best of the situation and invited the tomato monsters to stay for dinner. I whipped up a big pot of tomato soup, much to their delight. They slurped it up eagerly, making a mess all over the table. But I didn't mind. It was all in good fun. As the evening wore on, the tomato monsters started to grow tired. They yawned and stretched, their little tomato bodies sagging with exhaustion. I couldn't help but feel a pang of sadness. They had brought so much joy and laughter into my home, and now they were ready to leave. I bid farewell to the tomato monsters, watching as they scurried out the door and disappeared into the night. I knew I would never forget the day they took over my house. It was a bizarre and hilarious experience that I would cherish forever. And so, as I cleaned up the mess left behind by the tomato monsters, I couldn't help but smile. They may have caused chaos and mayhem, but they also brought a sense of whimsy and joy into my life. Who knew that a bunch of tomato creatures could make such an impact? As I settled down for the night, I couldn't help but wonder if the tomato monsters would ever return. And if they did, I would welcome them with open arms. After all, life is too short not to embrace the absurd and the unexpected. And who knows, maybe next time, they'll bring some friends along for the ride.